Hello and welcome. This is Project Healing Waters, Fayetteville, North Carolina program. And today's fly is the teeny nymph. The material that we're using is pheasant tail. We're using brown thread, 8/0 Veevus. And the hooks we're using is UMPQUA Nymph hooks, size 14. And we'll set our hook in our vise. And we can start right behind the eye. Remove the tag. And we want to bring it all the way down to the bend of the hook. There we go. What we want to do is grab a handful of fibers. You have two sections, two different variants. I use the one with the really off color tips right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab between 8 to 10 strands. And we're going to put it in the vise like so. Make sure the strands are on top. And we're going to tie it down with 2 to 3, 4, 5 good wraps. And then cut the remainder. And then we're going to secure this down, and we want to bring our thread right up in front of the tip, the hook point. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the fibers and wrap them with touching wraps down the hook shank to where the thread is positioned, and that's where we want. And these are going to be the first of the legs. And you want to be sure that these are secure underneath so we can position these at a later time to point backwards. Because essentially we want these legs to come underneath the hook. Inside the hook, and in between the hook and the point and the shank of the hook. So we're just going to group them together, kind of twist them up. And it's a lot easier if you have a vise, which I do. But we taught it in class, and people were able to tie this successfully without a rotary. So essentially we just want this to be pointing backwards to be the back legs. Okay, let me just put one more in there. I think we've got it there. Maybe one more. Okay. And essentially you're just moving the legs around to position them where you want them. And you're using the thread to manipulate this. Okay, and I'll do one more. Okay, yep, that's the way I want it. So now we're going to bring it back down. Okay, and I'm just going to leave them long for right now and trim them in the end. Now what we want to do is grab 8 to 10 more strands. And essentially we're going to do the same thing. Build up the body, and then we're going to use it for the front legs as well. So we're going to give it 2 to 3 wraps. Secure it. Okay, and we're going to remove the excess. Tie it down really good, and we can bring the thread all the way up to the top. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to build up the body without capturing our back legs. And the first couple wraps are difficult, but once you tie this enough, you'll get the hang of it. So we're just going to bring it forward. And I think this is the last one. And what we want to do is capture the legs underneath and make sure that they're staying put. Okay, I've got 2 wraps on that, pretty secure. Okay, now we want to grab them and bring them back to where we can position them where we want them to be. So just capture them and then just build up the head, and they'll fall in line backwards. Okay, and then what we want to do is make sure we got all the legs out. And I want to put a wrap behind it so we can isolate them like so. Maybe another wrap behind it. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to leave one strand out, and we don't want to capture a back strand. So I think I've got them isolated enough. Now we're just going to build up the head to point these things backwards, point the legs backwards. And I think we got it pretty good. Alright, heads build up. So now what we want to do is we're going to do our whip finish. 2 sets of 4. Looks like the legs moved on me a little bit. And this is what we don't want to do. We don't want to capture these legs in the whip finish. Okay, let's just point these down. Okay, it still works. Okay, make sure the thread's tight. Let's remove it. Now what we want to do is we want to cut the legs to length. Okay, so I'm going to start with the back legs. And the easy way to do that is just stretch them down. And I want to cut these right below the hook point there. And then I'm going to grab the other ones, and we're going to do about the same length, maybe just a little tad bit longer. Right there. And there is our teeny nymph. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. The material list will be in the comments list as well. This is Project Healing Waters, Fayetteville, North Carolina. And thank you for viewing the video.